You're listening to Season 7 of the award-winning Home Ed Matters podcast, brought to you from the West Midlands in the UK.
We're just a regular family of 5 on a home education journey, and we want to share our journey with you and encourage you on yours. So thanks for joining us, and here's this week's episode.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to
Home Ed Matters,
Season 7.
Episode 16.
My name's Luke.
And my name's Eden.
And thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
We've got lots to talk about as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Where should we start?
That is the question.
How about baking?
Okay.
What TV show has been inspiring you recently?
Junior Bake Off, so we only just started watching it. But it's actually finished now, but we're only on episode 4.
And what do you like the most about Junior Bake Off?
I like the technical challenges because they all have to do the same thing.
Do they tend to go well?
No. Well, some of them do, but yeah, some of the other kids are better, like showstoppers and stuff.
Yeah, maybe the ones they've practiced.
Yeah.
In the past. So you've been baking every week?
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since our last episode.
It has.
And you've baked at least 3 things. So what were some of the recipes that you've done?
Well, we made bread, made shortbread, we made a lemon curd cake.
Stop a sec, stop. So what recipes have you done?
What? There. So I've made bread, I've made shortbread, I've made a lemon curd cake, made something else but I can't remember it. Oh, yeah, and I made the chocolate cake.
Brilliant. And the bread was a real success.
Yeah.
And you've had a special little helper every time. Who's been helping you?
Mirabelle.
Thanks for including her in your baking.
It's okay, yeah. She's quite a nice little helper.
So how did you do the bread? Because that's a bit different to what you've normally baked.
Basically, we just kind of mixed up all the ingredients, and then we kneaded it, and then we made it into really fun shapes. And Mirabelle, she had her own little loaf, which was quite cute, and Mummy made that into a snail for her, and I plaited my bread.
Yeah, you plaited it into a loaf, and then it
Yeah.
baked up.
And it was really yummy.
And the shortbread, what was the inspiration for that?
Don't know really. I just wanted to make shortbread because I saw it in the recipe book and I thought it would be really fun to make.
Yeah.
And it was so yummy.
It was very tasty. Yeah, quite diverse things you've been cooking.
Yeah.
I mean, you tended to focus on sweet things, haven't you? So
yeah. What?
Do you think you're going to start making savoury things, like proper meals?
Well, I could try, yeah. Like, mostly I make sweet things because I can't really make, like, tea times and stuff because we're watching TV then, so...
True.
Yeah.
TV time is at 4 o'clock in our family.
Yes. It's always like, whenever anyone, it's on tenterhooks, it's 4 o'clock!
Yeah, it's a good thing to look
day.
forward to. But also keeps the rest of the day free for activities.
Yeah.
Speaking of activities, in fact, firstly, we need to say a big thank you to Homegrown Sunshine account on Instagram,
Yes.
who included us in their top home ed podcast, didn't they?
Yay!
Which was really kind. So thank you so much. Really glad that you listen in. As I said to them, actually it's often a bit of a surprise that people actually listen.
I know.
So, but thank you. We what that means is it makes a difference when you get in touch with us. We really appreciate that. So
yes, thank you so much.
that was really nice. You have been part of a drama club for a couple of years now.
Over 2 years.
And
This is my 3rd year.
but you're doing a special project at the moment. What are you working on?
A New Beginnings project.
Now, why is it called New Beginnings?
I think, just because 2021 is a new beginning from COVID and everything. So, yeah, I think that's the reasoning behind it.
And what's the parameters really? What do you have to do in the project?
Well, we can do anything at all that comes to mind with New Beginnings, and I'm doing a monopolylogue.
So, I'd never heard of a monopolylogue before. So, what is a monopolylogue?
A monopolylogue is basically a scene where you're the only actor or actress, and you play lots of different characters.
Okay, so you're working on your own. So you're not working in
Yes.
groups on this one.
Well, some people can work on groups, but I chose to work alone.
Okay, and are you following a a script.
Yeah, I wrote the script on my computer,
Okay.
which is a really old computer.
Well, yeah, but that's good practice
Yeah.
for typing and using word processing software. So
Yeah.
you've written a script. So what is your interpretation of the New Beginnings challenge?
Well, basically, I've made it so there's a detective called Agent D, and, you know, she's not a very good detective. And I've dropped little hints here and there, like, you know, I'm so glad how well this is going. I mean, like, yeah, pro detective always goes as well for me, and
Great,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah, and so basically she's trying to catch the crook New Beginnings, but New Beginnings isn't actually a crook. Turns out it was no beginnings at the end.
Oh, I see. And we're going to film it in a minute, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
So, what's some of the preparation we've had to do?
Well, we've had to find, like, different costumes, so not full-on costumes. I'm just going to be wearing all black, and then we have little props, you know, to show people what the character is.
Different characters.
Yeah.
So we're going to film it, and we'll film each bit at a time.
Yeah.
And then we'll slice it together.
Yes. You're going to be doing that bit, but I will help.
I'll show you how to do it. Yeah. So that's really fun.
Yep.
So we're working on that. That's a fun project to be working on. Lots of skills and things learnt there. Mm-hmm. And is that your first script that you've written?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I have written a script before, and it was like a twisted tale of Romeo and Juliet, but I didn't finish it, and yeah, I've never performed it.
Well, it's good practice to do that, because you do like story writing and things like that, don't you?
Yeah. I have loads of story files on my laptop, but none of them are finished.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's all just part of the practice, isn't it? You just get a good idea and start writing something, and who knows, you might come back to it.
Yeah, mostly I just get a bit bored of writing with one story and I want to move on to another. I think the furthest I've got is 3 chapters in.
Yeah.
That was Freya Fireson.
And we've been thinking of, like, it's made us think a bit more about how stories are portrayed in films.
Yeah.
And what happened at the end of last month?
Family New Month's Eve. You know, New Month's Eve. Not family, but yeah. Well, it is family, but yeah.
Which is?
Our family tradition, which we have started, where we just have a sleepover in the TV room and stay up late and watch movies.
Watch a classic film.
Yes.
So we did this on New Year's Eve, and it was such a success.
Yeah, we love Sound of Music.
That we thought we might do it at the end of each month.
Yeah, we were pining for it. So this month we watched The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Which is an absolutely classic film. Can you remember when it was made?
Ages ago, like 1930 something.
Yeah, 1939. And fascinating, thinking about the filming of it, because it still feels really
newish.
Really, yeah. Well, it stands up well to scrutiny. There's a reason it's a classic.
It's aged well.
But what are some of the tricks they use in it, I suppose?
Well, I think they dyed the horses' manes, which I thought was a bit bad for the horses, you know.
Yeah, so we had the discussion about the makeup at the time.
Yeah.
But part of it's
and how
in
it was
black
a bit,
and white.
And how and basically how their makeup is a bit amateur. You know how, like, these days movie makeup has really progressed.
Yeah.
But they were quite amateur.
Yeah, I suppose. Well,
Almost.
It's kind of 90. Well, when 94? It's kind of 80 years ago.
Yeah.
So pretty remarkable.
Progressed by since then.
And they filmed some of it in black and white.
Yeah.
And some of it in colour, which was part of the story.
Yeah.
So thank you for some of the suggestions that you've given us over on Instagram for the next film we should watch.
Yes.
Some good ones that came up were Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Passport to Pimlico, which is a classic Ealing comedy.
Ooh.
So it'd be good to learn about that. If you've got any other good ideas of classic family films we could watch, I suppose probably not like Disney ones, because
we've watched most of them.
We're really up to speed on Disney ones.
Yeah, we watched
so we're thinking
many.
more like real, true classics that we could watch.
Yeah.
Please let us know. We'd like to do that. So we've got that coming up again at the end of this month, which we're really looking forward to.
I can't wait for that. All the months are going really fast, Daddy.
Yeah, and we were listening to an audiobook as we all went to sleep. What were we listening to?
Just William.
Just
so
William.
Funny.
Yeah, we are really enjoying those at the moment. Do your impression of William?
Well, you see, that's why I'm telling everyone, because a manly boy is the first one to tell a joke at his own self.
Yeah, it's
and
very
but then he does
good writing, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's just so funny because he wants to make this man go away for Ginger's party, and it's just so funny.
Yeah, it's very good writing and it's very well acted. And
Yeah.
we're all really enjoying the humour in it, aren't we?
Yeah. But Lucy's your mother's dog. It's
Yeah,
just really funny.
That was very funny.
Yes.
Right, well, let's take a breath and then we'll be back in a short moment.
You're listening to the Home in Matters podcast.
That really was a short moment.
That really was a short moment.
It was only 2 seconds.
Now, we've been doing a project over the last couple of weeks.
We have.
What has been our topic of the project?
Rainforests.
And what are some of the ways that we've been learning about rainforests?
Well, it's in our sassafras science books, and they were learning like about rainforests, and they travelled to a rainforest, and so I made a rainforest diorama, and Asher made a rainforest calendar for February.
Yeah, so tell us about your diorama. What is a diorama, and how did you make it?
I think a diorama, I'm not actually sure what it is very well, but my diorama, I basically made had a shoebox and I turned it into a rainforest scene. So I cut out trees out of cereal boxes, and all the different layers of trees, like the canopy layer, the understory, the forest floor, all the different layers and animals which go in those layers.
Pretty good, yeah. So that's a really physical manifestation of the
Yes.
learning that you've done about all the different layers. And
Yeah,
what was
it's
some
quite
of the
poppy-outy.
what was some of the it's 3D? I think a diorama is like a 3D scene, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
What are some of the things that you learnt or that stick in your mind the most from learning about the rainforest?
Well, I guess just learning about all the different layers and stuff, and where those animals go in the layers. Like how some animals prefer to go up high in the trees when you would assume they would down in the ground. So, yeah.
Mm. And Asher did a really great project where he's done like a flip chart for every day in February with a different animal from the rainforest.
Yeah.
With some facts about it and everything. So that was
Yeah.
a really good use of time.
And he was rushing to get it finished.
Yeah, he worked really hard. Both of you worked really hard to finish those projects.
Thank you.
So that's really good. Other things you've been making. Tell us about the flex tangles.
Oh, yeah. So, yesterday morning we coloured in some flexi tangles, and then and they're like 3D things that will turn into 3D things, but they were just flat on the paper. And then Mommy turned them into these things where, like, the animal comes together and then it breaks apart, and it's really cool.
So, yeah, it's just flat paper, but through careful cutting and sticking, it becomes like a 3D, twisty shape, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So they're pretty good. You could look up flex tangles.
Yes.
And then you've actually started one of your Christmas presents. You had loads of good making things for Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
But what are you making at the moment?
I'm making a puzzle, though, Daddy, it was actually my birthday present.
It was a birthday present.
Yeah, it was.
Da, da, da. But what is this puzzle? And it's not just like a 4-piece puzzle, is it?
Yeah, it's a really big one. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle, and it's taking me quite a while, but it's really cool. It's a Disney character was one, so it's like Mickey is going to take a photo of all these different Disney characters, and it's really nice because we have literally watched all the films which those Disney characters in, like Sleeping Beauty, Cruella de Vil. Yeah.
We've got a really strong connection to the Disney characters.
Yeah,
because
we love Disney.
We love, in fact, this time last year, we were out at Disneyland in Florida.
Yeah, I miss it so much.
Pre-COVID, post being really ill for me,
Yeah.
but we got back just before all the lockdown started.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's taken up a big space at the moment on the dining room table.
Yeah, a really big space. There's not much space to do much else.
But that's a good thing to be doing. And you quite
Yes.
often listen to audiobooks when you're doing stuff straight after quiet times, don't you? So
Yeah.
what audiobooks and stories have you and Ash been listening to the last couple of weeks?
Just William, winter stories, and then we've also been doing our usual ones like Shakespeare plays and Pilgrim's Progress and stuff like that.
So winter stories, are those Enid Blyton?
Yes, I think so. Or it could be
And
Easy Nesbit, but I'm pretty sure it's Enid Blyton.
which Shakespeare plays have you been listening to recently?
Well, we listened to Much Ado About Nothing, A Merchant of Venice. It's quite hard to keep track because we listen to them all in one go, each play. So
Each play.
yeah.
Well, that's good though, isn't it? Because you get the sense of the whole thing.
It is, yeah. It's really good. I really like listening to them, and because they're like children's versions, so they're not as hard to listen to.
Yeah, you get the sense of them. So these are ones
Yeah.
that are generally all on our reading list or our curriculum for the year.
Yes.
So I think we're up to like week 22 or something.
Yeah.
We're nearly at the end of term 2, aren't we?
We are, and I was a bit surprised at that because it feels like we've only just started.
Yeah, but it's already we started straight after New Year, didn't we? And then it's
Yeah.
already February, so
Wow.
it's another good few weeks.
How is it February?
I know, amazing, really.
Yeah. Time is going so fast ever since lockdown started.
So we do lots of read alouds, but we also use the audiobooks to fill in.
Yeah, and that's kind of since we did our Harry Potter year. Before that, we were just kind of listening to like one audiobook a week, but now we listen to audio like almost all the time.
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, it frees up a bit more time.
Yeah.
But what are some of the read alouds that you have been doing?
Well, Mummy reads us aloud the Sassafras Science book on zoology.
Yeah.
And so we usually have about 1 or 2 books each morning, which Mummy reads aloud to all of us, and then I go off and do my readings while Mummy reads aloud to Asher for his readings.
And just for fun, in the afternoons, we've often got like a book on the go, haven't we?
Yeah.
And so what's the one we've been really enjoying that we just finished?
Pages and Co.
And what's that all about?
It's about book wandering and books, and basically it's this girl can travel into books. I won't give too much away, but it's definitely worth a read. We got through it really quickly.
So others have said it's a series that they really like. So
Yeah, it's so good. Definitely worth a read.
and we finished the book. What book did we just finish reading?
The Long Winter?
The Long Winter. Yeah, we finished that. So that was the next Laura Ingalls Wilder one.
Yeah, and then we were reading Gulliver's Travels, but we
made a
stopped.
start on Gulliver's Travels, but it just felt like it was going to take us ages, and it was really
Wordy.
overly wordy.
And this meant that, and in later years I would find out that, and stuff like that.
I think for our focus time before, at the end of each day before bed.
We only read for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was just going to dominate it really. So what have we started reading instead?
Animal Farm, and
George
I really like
Orwell.
it.
Yeah, so lots of stuff to think about in there about power.
Yeah,
and
the pigs
truth.
are taking over.
Yeah, it's an absolute classic. So really a really fun one for us to be reading at the moment.
Yep.
And it's nice and short. And we'll think about what to read after that, really.
Yeah, we're always seem to be needing books to read, Daddy.
Well, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I have my Kindle now because before I was just constantly searching for a book to read.
I know, yeah. And you've got your 100 kids' books wall chart
Yes.
to scrape off. Are you making progress on scraping off some of those?
Yeah. I need to scrape a couple of them off, actually, because we finished Wind in the Willows. Oh, yeah, that's another thing we were listening to, Wind in the Willows.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
Finished that now.
So we do love having a really good literature-based curriculum, don't we?
Yeah, we do. I love literature. It's really
Now,
fun.
It's not quite spring, but it's definitely towards the end of winter. So we had that. If you listened to our last episode, we'd had another dump of snow. Thankfully, we've not had any quite so much, but it has been very wet.
Yeah.
So wet, in fact, that we've had an issue with one of our gutters. Yeah. What happened downstairs while I was reading Animal Farm to you the other night?
Well, we were reading Animal Farm, and then we heard a big bang and crash, and Mummy calling your name, and you rushed downstairs, and when you got back, I found out that the ceiling had fallen down.
Yeah, a bit of our ceiling fell down in the hall because we knew it was a bit damp because there was water coming through the wall because of an issue with the guttering. We have got somebody come and sort it, but that's a memorable story.
Yeah, and I didn't know that was what the house looked like.
Well, those are the laths. Yeah, it's quite old type. So that's lath and plaster. So
I mean, I'm surprised it could hold the house up.
That's those laths. No, those are just little battens that you plaster over. But what what I need to do actually is check the joists for rot. But I'll show you the joists because they're the laths are just the thin bits of wood
Yeah,
that
they
are
look
just
very thin.
tacked, I suppose, to the bottom of the big joists. But they're just a framework really for putting a plaster on.
Okay.
So that's all it is.
Yeah, that makes sense because I was like, how does that hold our house up?
Yeah, no, that's just a bit of it really.
Yeah.
But the point I was trying to get to was it's not quite spring, but you and I planted loads of spring bulbs.
We did.
We did, and they're starting to come up, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And the orchard is like you can't really step anywhere without stepping on one.
There's loads of
It's
bulbs
just
in the
lovely.
orchard. Yeah, we tried to do some garden work yesterday.
To earn tokens.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we tried to get a bonfire going, and we're still clearing brambles and things,
Didn't
but
work.
was just everything was a bit too wet yesterday. Really.
I think Asher blew it out a bit. To be honest.
Well, do you
He
know
was
what?
blowing on it so much.
Yeah, but so was
and
I.
But it had a really good flame, and then Asher blew it.
Yeah,
out a bit.
I don't think it was Ash's fault in any way. I just think the stuff we're putting, everything was a bit too wet, really.
Yeah,
and
it was
damp.
also wet and damp and.
So, but what was the reason you were helping in the garden apart from just keeping me company?
To earn tokens for American snacks.
So, we there is a little shop around the corner from us that has recently opened actually, which sells
American
snacks. Yeah, and
it's so yummy. There's so many things to choose from, and it's yummy.
Yeah, we did sample a few bits, and we thought you could do some extra chores, all of you, to earn tokens really to go and to go there again at another time.
We have to have 4 tokens each, and I'm on 2, and so is Ash.
What did you choose when we went there?
I chose an a cream-filled Oreo brownie. It's a tongue twister.
That was pretty good.
And Asher and Mirabelle both chose frosted biscuits, and we did a bit of swapping, mix and matching, so we all tried each other's, and they're so nice.
Yeah, well, I think they've got different laws about chemicals and additives that you can put in food, which do enhance the flavours, but probably aren't all necessarily as good for you.
Yeah, but it's really good because now I don't have to wait for my snack surprise to arrive every month, which is the different country snack subscription. But, I always feel like, why does England have such boring sweets? It's like other countries
probably doesn't, but they're just normal to us.
Yeah, well, other countries
and
have so many yummy sweets.
We don't treat ourselves to that kind of stuff. We do have a healthy diet, don't we? So
we have a healthy diet.
Well, that's important when you're growing up.
Yeah.
So.
Sadly.
Well, that's kind of the end of our episode.
Yep.
Just normal life for a couple of weeks. Obviously, still lockdown restrictions around, but just pressing on with our regular learning.
Yeah.
And but the weather's been super rainy, hasn't it? So haven't been able to do as much stuff outside really.
Yeah, I wish we could though.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for listening in. Do feel free to include us in your top Home Ed podcast posts.
Hint, hint.
Do give us some ideas for classic family films we could watch later this year.
And contact us, please.
Yeah, we love hearing from you. All the details are coming up. Meanwhile, see you in a few weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Home Ed Matters podcast. We love hearing from you, so email us to homeedmatters@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Home Ed Matters, and visit our website at www.homeedmatters.co.uk. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review wherever you listen, like Apple Podcasts, Stitcher or Spotify. Thanks for joining us and enjoy your home ed journey this week.
They say absence makes the heart grow fond. Well, I've grown quite fond of you. Some people may think you're strange, but I think I'm strange too. It's raining outside, and it's raining inside too. I wanna go home, place where I'm known, and where I know you. Walk familiar streets.